Hi, everyone, and welcome to Baka Bitches. We are two 30-something-year-olds who enjoy drinking and discussing anime. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Hannah, and we'll be watching Ouran High School Host Club. And just fair warning, we will be watching this as a dub and not a sub. Don't come at us. Other disclaimer is that there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, pause and watch the episode yourself and then come back and listen along. We will also be going over explicit content and we'll probably say some pretty explicit things, so listener, beware, and it's to your own discretion.
We hope you enjoy. Pour yourself a drink and join us.
Hello everyone and welcome to Baka Bitches. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Stephanie.
And we are two 30-something-year-olds who love to drink and talk about anime. And speaking of drink, what are we having?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Isn't it?
What are we having? So we are having a concoction of a canned... It's actually considered a beer sour.
Oh.
From my husband's collection that he keeps saying he's going to drink and then has not drank yet.
Well, thank you.
So now it's part of our cocktail, which I also infused with additional vodka.
Is that a thing? Do people infuse beer and vodka?
I mean, I do. We do.
I mean,
I
clearly.
do. We do.
And I'm fully enjoying it. Don't get me wrong.
With a squeeze of lemon. Mm-hmm. Because people keep coming to my house and they just bring me lemons. And I'm not really sure why. But they just show up at my house and they're just like, here's 2 lemons and...
nothing else. Okay, bye.
And 1 egg and half of a toaster strudel. Bye. Is how it actually feels. But no, yeah. I have an overabundance of lemons, so yeah, squeeze some lemon in here.
All right. Well, when life gives you lemons,
make a cocktail.
Absolutely. Drink your lemons away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Which episode are we on now, Hannah?
We are on episode 11. Which is, it's going to be interesting from...
We're solidly in the double digits here.
I know. I can't believe it. It's like we're kind of mature podcasters in a way. We're in our double digits. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode, I think. Because just from the commentary I heard from your side. Oh boy. And this is, I would say it's kind of one of my favorite episodes. And we'll delve deep into the contrast of my opinion versus yours.
Oh,
it's going to be so good.
I hope so.
It's going to be so good. Okay. So the title of this episode is Big Brother is a Prince. Kirimi Nekozawa, a young girl, comes to Ouran Academy searching for her older brother, Umehito Nekozawa. She finds and labels the host club a reverse harem filled with debauchery, terms the hosts find startling given her age. When Kirimi sees Tamaki's blonde hair, she mistakes him for Umehito. Kuretake and Kodamatsu, 2 Nekozawa family servants, arrive to retrieve her, revealing that Kirimi is afraid of the dark while Umehito is afraid of the light. Umehito enters, but with his black cloak, black wig, and Bielzenef, cat puppet. He frightens Kirimi, causing Umehito to leave dejected. Afterwards, Tamaki and Renge coach Nekozawa into becoming the princely figure who will save Kirimi from the monster in her house, who, in actuality, is Nekozawa wearing his dark clothes.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Plot twist. You got M. Night Shyamalan ding-dongs.
You're a ding-dong.
I am. Tamaki and Renge convince him to give up his cloak and wig, saying his photophobia is psychological. This leads him to saving Kirimi from a large, unfriendly cat and proves his bravery. Despite temporarily overcoming his photophobia, Umahito succumbs to his skin sensitivity to sunlight and collapses. The host club believes they were unsuccessful when, in reality, the Nekozawa siblings reforge their bond. Okay, so...
all the opinions.
Yes. I feel like yours is way more controversial than mine.
Oh, I don't know if they're
for
controversial.
sure.
I feel like everything is like, I wrote down a statement
Sure.
and then like made it a question.
Because you were so confused as to
Yeah.
what was happening.
Oh my goodness. Didn't we just watch before this a different anime where I was constantly like, Hannah, what? Oh, was it Ghost Stories?
Oh, yes.
Because nothing in Ghost Stories made sense, where I was
Made
like,
no sense.
okay, I followed along for the first 7.5 minutes, and then what? And then like every episode ending, you're like, but then like it just ends there.
Yeah.
So I feel like this particular episode, while it was highly entertaining, especially compared to a couple that we've previously had with Ouran,
Yeah.
I didn't not enjoy it, but I just felt like every statement that I wrote down, I was then like, question?
Like, how did this happen?
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
not quite sure. Which is probably just a Stephanie-ism. It's like a problem with me in particular. Or the fact that my 5-year-old kept getting out of bed. I'm really not sure which one of those it is. It's just a problem.
Maybe a little bit of both. And that's okay. That's absolutely
So you're going to
acceptable.
help me understand this.
Sure.
So we're going to go off my notes here.
Okay.
Which my first point is...
Yep.
Little girl wandering around exclaims, "It's a reverse harem."
I mean, she's not wrong. She ain't wrong. Well...
I then wrote down her name.
Yeah.
Kirimi.
Yep.
Yes, nailed it.
Which means in Japanese, which was an on-running joke in the episode, that it's basically a fish fillet. Like it's a piece of salmon, a cut of salmon.
But is it a fancied cut of salmon? Would Haruhi eat it? She probably would, because she's poor.
Yeah, exactly. And clearly the Nekozawa family is pretty well off. So it's technically fancy.
It's at least expensive fish. We don't know if it's fancy.
This is true. I still don't understand the difference between regular and fancy, but that's fine.
Okay, so little girl wandering around, lost, looking for her princely big brother.
Yeah.
Somehow, as a 3-year-old, stumbles into the host club and is like, "It's a reverse harem."
Yep.
And then she just starts out of nowhere. No one asked her to do this. She just starts calling out everyone's host type.
Yes.
You're this, you're this, you're this. No one asked you to do this, bitch.
No.
But here you are.
But it was like a little renge, right?
No.
It totally
It's not even, no, don't you dare bash my girl Renge. Okay, I have so many things to say about her later.
Okay.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Little girl. Just
Listen,
purely
she's
annoying.
Fine. I think you're...
No.
I have a running theme here. I think I see a running theme here with you. Because even in Sailor Moon, you hated Rini / Chibiusa.
It's because she's so annoying.
I know, and so, like, that's, I think...
I hate kids.
Yeah.
It's terrible that I'm a parent, huh?
No, not at all. It's fine.
I love them. They're adorable.
Absolutely. You love your own kids, and that's what matters. You could...
But also, if you don't have kids yet, never do it.
It's fine.
What?
Do what you want. Do what you want. It's fine. It's
Live
fine.
your best life. Just don't do it with kids.
Anyways, what were we talking about? What's your next question? What is it?
Oh, no.
Okay, that was it? Are we concentrating on just that?
Okay,
part
so
first?
she just out of nowhere identifies all their host types.
Yep.
And assumes that Tamaki is her brother.
Yep.
Since they're both blonde.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, I had draw a little arrow because this came a little bit later, but it was a connected thought.
Uh-huh.
She is obsessed with indicating that there's debauchery here.
Yes.
And she's using such a big word, but is still so fucking dumb that she doesn't know her own brother from her not brother.
Yeah. Yeah. This is very... This totally makes sense.
This is like at least 15 lines in my notebook of just question marks. Because I don't understand how she's so smart but so stupid.
Well, okay, this totally makes sense, and I can totally explain it to you
I'm here
in
for
like
it.
the most scientific way possible.
Let's do it.
Without any big scientific-y words, because I'm not about that life.
Perfect.
Okay, so you know how when kids are young, like...
Do I know when kids are young?
Yeah,
I do know that.
Okay, go back to those days when your kids were just like 3, 4.
They're still that age. Yes, understood.
Yeah. But like really just kind of getting there to that young age thing.
Yes.
I really don't know how old Kirimi is technically, but she's young. And I know, because I have nieces and nephews that I actively babysat at least once a week. I know that in that age, or like younger, there's a time when their brain is developing, right?
I mean, doesn't your brain develop until you're like 22?
25, I think, is what
If
science
you're a
says.
man. If you're a
I think
female.
that goes for everyone. Well, I think.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. Maybe women do develop a lot faster, but
Regardless.
anyways, that's besides the point.
It's a long ass time.
I know. I'm trying to explain this.
Yeah.
So,
Developing 4-year-old brains.
and so they get to a point when they're trying to build synapses in their brain that they start to just mimic other people, and then it comes off like really smart, really intelligent,
Sure.
but they really don't know what they're doing. They're just mimicking what they've witnessed, what they've seen over and over from their parents, from their other family members, from whoever is older than them, right?
Sure.
Because there have been a few instances when my nieces were younger that they picked up something that I said, and they just immediately, I said it once in front of them, and then they're like, let me just permanently make that a part of my personality. And it's like this copycat mode where they're just like, okay, you've used this word, or you've said this thing, or you've done this thing, I'm gonna mimic it. And that's just kind of a weird learning phase that they get into when they're young.
I feel like I had a learning phase like that. My words specifically, when I was like 3, were ignorant pig.
Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah, and really what 3-year-old is just casually using the words ignorant pig?
A really smart one.
Yet here I was. Calling it like I saw it.
Exactly.
And it wasn't until my aunt heard me saying that to my cousin when she was like, "That's not nice." And
okay.
but like I had heard the words,
Sure.
and I didn't really know what they meant.
Right.
Like I understood generally, like it meant like not smart, dumb. And like I said it to my cousin, who's like the same age, and she's just laughing and laughing her little 3-year-old ass off,
Sure.
as I was, because like I was so funny.
Absolutely. No, that's funny now.
So I almost kind of feel like maybe like this is kind of what you're talking about,
Yeah.
like where someone like, no 3-year-old is really like knows like the word ignorant pig is like derogatory,
Right.
Specifically, they're just more like, this is just debauchery.
Yeah.
But like they have maybe a general understanding of like kind of what it is, but like not really.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's going on here.
Sure.
I mean, even though Kirimi really did accurately describe what is going on with the host
She did,
club.
because she's smart and Asian.
So smart. A blonde Asian.
And Asian.
Go on.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It exists.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So,
In an anime.
yeah, in an anime, when you're the pro tag. So we see Kirimi doing that, labeling the host club, you know, debaucherous and reverse harem, which all accurate, can't even argue with her on that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it is a lot because it is explained later on in the episode that she got that from the maid who was reading her a ton of quote-unquote shoujo manga, which...
Okay, missed the part about the maid having introduced that to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many less questions now.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I solved that for you.
You literally answered so many questions now. 'Cause I was like, what 3.5-year-old?
One who has read,
Understood.
shoujo manga, quote unquote, at night for bedtime stories.
Well, like the maid doing it, I honestly have no questions about this.
Sure.
I'm over
Not
here just
anymore.
like, I don't have a maid, but like, story checks out.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
it is what
here
it
for
is. Yeah.
Okay. But also, she's so dumb she doesn't know what her brother is.
Well,
Like, I know that in the anime, they drew them to look like height-wise and bone structure-wise exactly the same, minus the haircut. But like, people IRL are not like that.
sure.
No matter how much I look like someone else, like, it's not... If I'm someone's sister, which I'm not a sister,
Sure.
because I'm an only child.
I know, which is why you're going to have such a great stance on this.
I have so many questions. Like, I feel like if I saw you and then I, like, saw your twin, I would still be able to tell by, like, mannerisms alone or, like, how you speak, nuances, just to be like, you're not Hannah.
But see, if I was tongue deep in my twin, like I would be...
What?
Because of the twin cest that happens.
Oh. I was like, wait, what are you doing with the twin?
Why are you tonguing
Where's
your
this
twin?
podcast going?
Where it goes every episode, Stephanie.
I wasn't prepared for this early in the night. I have not had enough drinks.
No? Okay.
I mean,
I'll
I
save
have
that
a
for
question mark
later.
drink, but it's not enough. Okay, so if you were tongue deep in your twin...
Could you really tell us apart? Like, really?
I would hope so.
I don't know. It depends on how twinny we are.
But if they were your sibling...
Oh, like...
Okay, so like if your mom had a twin sister, wouldn't you be able to tell your mom versus your mom's twin sister?
I would hope so.
I would hope so. But
Yeah.
over here, Kirimi, in her 3 years of age, her 700 days of existence, is like, I don't know who my brother is. He only wears a black cloak and acts fucking weird all the time. But you're completely the opposite, Tamaki. You must be him.
But see,
What?
that's
bitch?
explained too.
Okay.
That's all explained.
Okay,
too.
I probably missed that.
Yeah.
Explain it. Wait, are we jumping too far ahead?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
All right, then explain it, and then I'll move on to my next 4 points.
Okay. And you might not even be able to because I'll just clean it all up for you.
I hope so.
So
Episode ends early again.
yeah, we're like, okay, bye. On to the next.
As we just talk about other unrelated things.
We can definitely talk about this subject because we also, after I answer all of your questions, I think it would be good to have that only child versus...
I have many questions that I don't feel like are related to this.
Okay, that's fine too. We'll
So try it. Let's try it.
We've got content for this
Try it.
episode. Okay, so in the beginning,
In the beginning, God created man.
and he saw that it was good.
And then he met a woman, and she was pretty, and he was like, I have to bang her.
Wait, what? Okay, we're good. I got this. So
Perfect.
in
the
the
beginning.
part of the beginning of the episode, when we see Kirimi walking towards the school unattended, which maybe don't do that, but everyone is unattended here, and that's why we have problems at this school.
Sure.
Um,
That's true. That's been at least half the episodes. We're like, how did you get in? Who let you
like,
here?
And I've also noticed, like, there's a pattern. Like, this is kind of a sidetrack thing, but I'll make a quick point. I've noticed that there is a pattern with this show that a lot of episodes have to do with little kids and fixing their lives.
Oh, God.
Right? Am I not wrong? I'm not wrong. Like, there's so many little kids just wandering onto this campus or, like, going to the
just
host
stumbling
club.
here for no apparent reason.
And
that is slightly concerning.
And Tamaki is just like, I'm gonna fix you.
But again, that's kind of a plot hole.
Sure.
Which
it
doesn't
weird.
really address.
No.
It's okay.
And it's never gonna be addressed, but it's fine.
It's fine.
So I just thought I'd make that point first.
You're just making more questions for me
I
than
know,
answering things.
and I don't
thought you were
really-
here to answer all my questions.
I am, and I'm gonna do it in the longest way possible. So, okay.
I love long things.
Same. Especially when you go deep with it.
The deeper the better, Hannah.
Anyways. So in the beginning of the episode, Kirimi's walking to the school, and then she's like, I'm looking for my big brother. I don't know where he is, but he's really brave, and he looks kind of like me, blah, blah, blah. He needs to get the monster. And we always tend to see a flashback of Kirimi in front of this big-ass portrait of her brother. Where he's looking very princely. He's got the blonde hair, the really kind blue eyes. And she's like, that's my brother. And I'm sure her parents are like, yeah, that's your older brother. He loves you, blah, blah, blah. But because of what is later unfolded in the episode where they say, Urahito is born to the darkness. And Kirimi is born to the light, right? And so she's never actually, in all of her life, actually seen her brother.
Oh.
Is why, like, because he is so, he has photophobia, which is extreme sensitivity to the light. So he always has to dress up in these dark robes, in this dark wig, apparently, which seems unnecessary, but apparently in the anime they just kind of gloss over it by saying that he has to wear a wig over his blonde hair to protect him. Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, that's really kind of stretching it, but all right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Because anime.
I was just about to say it, because anime.
So, the reason why she's only seen her brother through this giant-ass portrait that is on the landing of the stairs. This grand stair thing. And the monster that she's talking about, the one that her brother needs to come in and save her from, is actually himself when he's dressed up in his dark clothes
Dun, dun,
and
dun.
wandering around the house. And because she's so scared of the dark and doesn't like any dark things, and that is literally all he is. And Kirimi is this quote-unquote child of the light, and he's super sensitive to the light, so it's like they can't meet, like truly meet. And so that's really the whole plot of the episode, is that Kirimi's looking for her older brother to protect her. And he can't protect her because he is, quote-unquote, the monster that she's afraid of all along. Spoiler alert, I guess.
Story checks out.
Yeah.
No, I feel like really it does. I mean, to put it in that kid perspective is like, makes sense.
Yeah. It does.
I guess. Minus the, like, this is how you look. Because at some point within his own house, wouldn't he take off all the shit? I don't know. It just...
I mean, logically, you would think so.
It feels very sus to me. Like, how was he coincidentally looking for her on the same day when she also went out looking for her brother? Like, of course it was all this series of events, which is really, like, that's what makes an anime plot.
Right.
But, I'm here trying to poke holes in something that
Sure.
is not really poke hole worthy.
For
And
once.
neither is my next point.
Okay.
But I still want to bring it up anyways.
Sure.
Next, Renge emerges.
Yes. ...
As she does.
As she do.
It was just my entire sentence. That was it. That was my entire point.
Yeah.
Because I love my girl. Like,
I know.
Initially, she came in hot and heavy, like she was going to be that annoying character.
Like,
and
kinda
while
cringe.
she is,
Uh-huh.
I really just love her for the authenticity of she's just annoying, and
Yeah.
she's just here for it.
Yeah. She's not changing,
She's
and
like,
I appreciate that.
I'm teaching everybody everything. Ha 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 ha. Like with her weird ass Jessie laugh.
Yeah.
Like Jessie from Pokemon.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I love Renge that she does not change for anyone. Like,
Yeah.
she's just like, this is
Doesn't
who I
have to.
am. I
Queen,
know what I
she's
know.
slaying it.
Yeah, and we do. We love her for it. So, yeah, she pops up because, of course, Tamaki is like, so clearly there's a thing to fix here. And as the host club, outside of pretend wooing girls and having tea and instant coffee all the time, we gotta fix people, apparently.
Sure.
I guess.
So that's how Tamaki potentially comes into the mix, which is
Yeah.
where my next point ... question
Uh-huh.
comes from.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last point was Renge emerges as she does.
As she do.
Next line is Tamaki is making out?
What?
Playing imagination?
Oh, yeah.
With a mannequin.
With a mannequin. A Haruhi mannequin.
Well, of course, that's obviously implied, but just like, what happened? Where did this mannequin come from? What has orchestrated this into existence? I mean, Renge emerging, which I put the word emerging intentionally because, like,
Sure.
she just comes up out of a raised platform
Uh-huh.
from seemingly nowhere.
Every time.
But then, like, so was this mannequin that Tamaki
Yeah.
just starts, like, playing make-believe with.
Yeah.
Where the hell did that shit come from? And
We don't know.
And it has a bikini.
It does. The
Why?
cute, really
When?
frilly
Pink.
bikini. Yeah.
Bikini.
Cute, frilly little bikini one that
Not
was
even a
kind of
yellow polka
referenced
dot
a couple
bikini.
episodes ago. Like when they were either at the beach or
Yes.
at
It was in the Dome Beach. The Dome Beach.
The next... No, it was the one before the beach episode. It was the fake beach. And then
Where they
went
were
to
in
the
the
real
dome.
beach. Yeah.
They were in the dome.
With all the alligators and things that could eat you. It's fine. So...
It's dangerous
Yeah.
out there. Take me with you.
I can do nothing.
Senpai.
I'm absolutely useless, but it's fine.
I love it.
So, yeah, that was a previous callback to those episodes.
Episode 7.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I know because I just posted about it earlier.
Oh,
on Insta.
look at
That's
that.
why.
So I'm getting off track. So I almost want to think that the twins just had that ready to
Just
go.
to make him look stupid.
Absolutely. And
Just to poke fun at him.
they did. They
And
absolutely
they got him.
did.
They knew him. It worked.
Because, like, the scene, we should set the scene up.
They
for
were
this
mischievously
instance. Yeah.
being mischievous. Twin-cesting.
All the time. So they were in a science classroom, right? Because they had, the windows could be shut through a really fancy automated thing. And that was a perfect place for Renge to teach Umahito how to be a princely character in order to have some sort of relationship with his younger sister. And during all of this process, and Renge, like, beating this guy up because he kept failing, they had a little teddy bear with a blonde wig on to represent Kirimi. And so that's where the twins got the idea to humiliate Tamaki and, basically say, oh yeah, if this is so easy, why don't you be a good example for our friend here that we're trying to help and confess your love to this mannequin that looks vaguely like Haruhi.
Looks vaguely like an outfit that she has previously worn, and here we put a weird ass wig on it.
That looks exactly like her hair.
It's true.
It's fine.
Yeah, it all comes together when it's like the twins were just plotting. As they do. Plotting. So much plotting.
That's exactly what they do all day, every day. I bet
It's a fun job.
Yeah. They dream it up in their heads when they're sleeping. I know that for sure. Or at least that's headcanon to me. Yeah. But, so in the midst of Tamaki trying to, confess his feelings and all of a sudden starts visualizing the real Haruhi in this bikini and being all feminine and helpless and blah blah blah. He ends up getting broken out of this little daydream by the real Haruhi who comes in and
what a buzzkill.
And sees him
just a buzzkill on herself
clinging onto this mannequin, which she's like,
it's not a good look.
It's not a good look. He's caught doing something a little
little sus.
Yeah, that would get you sent to HR pretty fast, but that's fine. And she's just like, if you have enough time being weird and disgusting, you have enough time spending with this kid, which, is Kirimi.
Right.
Yeah.
Which leads to my next point, which was Haruhi came looking for Tamaki.
Uh-huh.
Because of the fact that Kirimi was, again, there. At being there, the host club.
Yep.
Again, Kirimi's here. She looking for you. Where is you? Oh, you're here doing weird ass shit. And then, cutscene Haruhi reading manga full of debauchery. To Kirimi.
Yep.
As Kirimi's just eating the shit up.
She loves it.
And Haruhi's like, oh God, why?
This is so wrong.
Oh no.
This goes against everything that I stand for.
Not to mention the fact that you're reading it to a literal 3-year-old.
That's fine. 2006. Different time.
Okay.
So
that was fun. Yeah, that was a perfect segue into my next point.
Oh, perfect. We're just hitting it out of the park tonight.
All right, next.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to correct me. I think I might miss something.
All right, go on.
Between this point of Haruhi reading debauchery to little girl.
Uh-huh.
My next point, which is now suddenly Fat Cat is confronting little girl. So I think a thing or two might have happened there that I failed to notate.
Sure.
So what happened between Haruhi reading Kirimi manga full of debauchery and then Fat Cat confronting Kirimi?
Well, yeah. So
yeah. I missed it. I blinked my eyes, you guys.
Well, we got slightly distracted here and there with some stuff. But so the general thing is that she's there to visit her quote-unquote brother, which is Tamaki.
I thought we were talking about the cat. I was like, the cat's here to visit its brother?
I mean, maybe. We don't know.
Yes. Okay, little girl, Kirimi, is here to visit brother.
Here to visit brother, which is Tamaki at the point.
At that point, because she doesn't believe that it's
Nekozawa.
Umehito?
Yeah, Umehito.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, and obviously they're practicing in this dark science room. And so it's very scary for a little girl because she doesn't like the dark or,
of course, because she's 3.
Yeah.
She only knows of debauchery. That's it.
That's the only darkness she knows in her life.
Understood.
And so She and Tamaki are out playing in the hallway because it's nice and bright, and they are both just like feeding onto each other's like infatuation with each other. Like this innocent.
That was such a good way to put it. It really was. Like he's tossing her into the air, and she's like, amazing, higher, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
And like they're both just eating it up.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Like I think Tamaki would be a great older brother, if not overbearing.
Oh.
Like definitely overbearing, but he's an only child, right? So he's never experienced this. All he knows is like he adores this little girl because she also adores him
and worships him
in a way because Kirimi has never actually, I mean she's met her older brother, but she didn't realize that Umehito was her older brother. And so all she knows is that she has an older brother that she's never met, right? And so she finally, quote unquote, meets her older brother in Tamaki, and like it's just this amazing experience for her. She's excited. She's like, finally an older brother, a protector, you know, it's
my
family.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like this sweet, really innocent,
of course, fairy
thing.
tale for her.
Yeah. And it's just like my brave older brother. Finally here. I finally get to meet him. I finally get to have a relationship with him, and he can protect me from the monster that's, you know, in our house. And
very different than the monster in my pants.
What?
Okay.
Damn, girl. So, you know, they're just having a lovely time being, you know, sharing the one brain cell between them.
It's the most lovely time.
So cute. And, you know, and at that point, Umehito is struggling with defeat, feeling defeated. Because he's like, as much as I want to be there for her, I can't.
Clearly not the best for her.
Yeah.
Just looking out for her.
Physically cannot. And she does need someone to do that.
I mean, does she? She kind of got herself in... You know what? She's 3. It's fine. I'm going to let it pass this one time. If we see her again, we'll lay into her.
That is very only child of you.
So, yes. So, brother Umehito is pretty much like, I guess I will relinquish my big brother rights.
Yes.
For someone who can be big brother for her in the way that she deserves.
She needs it. Yeah. And so it's a great sacrifice on his end. And, you know, the group is just like, no, if this is what you want, you've got to fight for it, more or less. And eventually he gets to a point where he's like, okay, you know, I really do want to be that big brother that she's always dreamed of. And so because of his photophobia, he like just any sort of light apparently is just bad for him. And he kept repeating this mantra to himself. I can't remember the exact words, but you know, I want to be a princely brother to Kirimi, you know, something along those lines. And he's saying this over and over and over again to hype himself up, to shine a flashlight in his face. So he can at least get somewhat exposed and somewhat used to some sort of light.
Right.
And so he does this and he succeeds pretty decently. And, you know, in that aha moment, and Kirimi is still there, he turns around and he's like, Kirimi, in his really kind of creepy voice. And turns around with the flashlight like held right under his face, so it's got those creepy
extra
shadows.
Creep factor.
Yeah, it's got those creepy shadows like all on his face. Scares her to death because she doesn't like anything creepy, and so she runs out of not only the room but out of the building.
Right, because she's still on the ground.
Still on the ground, but she's just exiting. And
somehow Fat Cat is there.
Yeah.
And he's just drawn to her like a magnet.
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I think he was just kind of existing in that general area, and she just happens to be there.
From Fat Cat's later. Which is, like, very non-committal. That, like, he was not there for her.
He did not give a shit.
She
like
exited, saw a cat, and was, like, startled.
Scared. Because...
she's being a scaredy cat about the cat.
Exactly.
Because even though their entire family, like, is obsessed with cats, they're also simultaneously, like... put cats on such a pedestal that it's like weird worship and like reverence, but also like untouchable. So she comes across this cat and she was like, gasp, and then just like frozen.
Yes, scared, tears welling up in her eyes.
And tears welling up in her little 3-year-old eyes over cats.
And the host club sees this for some odd reason.
They just
practically
stare out
all
the window.
of them
They're all just looking out the window.
Yeah, they're all out in the
window.
hall, staring out the window.
Looking down on her.
Yeah, and they're like, wow, already attracted a cat. Like, your family has this weird thing with cats.
So
and, like,
good.
They're so casual about it. And Umehito's like, oh no.
Actually, this is not normal.
Like, this is not good. Because even though our family really does worship cats, Kirimi is much different. She doesn't even like animals, which, what? Okay, that is, like, definitely a big strike against you, girl. Like, how do you not like animals?
Yeah, first of all, you don't like animals. Second of all, you're 3. We don't like you.
Can't be trusted.
Just kidding.
Like, at 3, you should be loving, like, everything.
I was gonna say, either of my kids, even at age 1, would be like, Kitty!
Yeah, absolutely. Let me fling the cat around because I love
You're
it so
my
much.
new mommy. I don't have a mommy anymore.
I just
it's
have
not
cats.
Stephanie. It's just literally you. Like, that would have been either of my kids.
That would be me as a kid.
But that was
me
not
as a kid.
Kirimi. She just
Frozen.
caught a glimpse of said cat
Very scared.
in the courtyard.
Yeah. Instead of, because the pathway was still pretty big, instead of, like, walking around said cat.
Or just going back into the building.
Yeah. She had so many options. But she just stood there frozen like a dumb 3-year-old. That's fine.
Yeah, stupid 3-year-old.
And so Umehito was like, oh no, this is not okay. And he felt this big urgency to save her. And in a very valiant effort, he breaks through the window to, like, go down to the ground in the courtyard to protect his baby sister.
It's a good thing that he's probably also very rich.
Yeah, absolutely, because they will have to replace that window.
It's going to be expensive.
Well, drop in the bucket to them, expensive to us.
Is it more expensive than a vase?
I don't know. That's a good question. We should maybe never Google that.
Okay.
I won't.
So he
remember.
breaks a literal window, jumps through it to
protect...
burn his flesh.
Yeah, not even
in
burn
the
it.
sunlight.
It's not like he's like a vampire or
He's
anything.
literally melting, Hannah. Did you not watch the same anime that I did?
I did.
He was melting like the Wicked Witch of the West when water was poured on her.
That is not true.
He was just like, the sunlight, but Kirimi, at least you can survive.
Yeah, like, go on, my precious sibling.
And then he did.
Yeah, he died in the end.
Just kidding.
No. No.
So he saves her with ... horrifying puppets?
Question mark? Yeah.
Is my notes.
Roughly.
Just making sure I understood.
Roughly. Yeah, he was like, don't worry, I'll protect you. And I think it was he brings out the cat puppet, which is, I believe, called Neilzebub. Because they mentioned the name, but I forgot. But I think
have
it's
no idea.
Neilzebub. I don't know why it's called that, but it's
Okay.
fine.
Oh, look at Neil.
Yeah,
Bobbin.
Neil, just for short, Neil.
Oh, I was like, kneel to me, peasants.
Hot.
I agree. That's what gets me going.
Yeah, same.
Treat me like a princess.
Bow to me. Anyways. So
You're distracted. Like, I'm over here speaking truth.
I know. Your truths are very distracting.
You're welcome.
So he's like basically saying that the puppet will protect her. And I think it's just kind of a distraction thing. And he's like...
Of course.
You know, and he's getting weaker at this point, and he's like, but don't worry, as our family is the Nekozawas, I can curse this cat. And the cat's just sitting there chilling, like,
living a cat life.
And it was just this huge distraction for Kirimi, I think. And so he's starting to weaken, and he just kind of passes out. And the biggest, fattest feral cat I have ever seen, which is this cat, is just lazily moving about. He's like, okay, I'm done here. I'm going to just casually stroll out of the scene. Which he does. So there was like no emergency to save Kirimi other than she's just generally scared of animals. So, but it was a very valiant effort on Umehito's part.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He broke through a window, Stephanie.
Okay, I mean, that part was a little intense. The rest, I don't know about.
But to save his sister. When she was scared. And so then we flash forward to kind of another day at school, and Umehito is back in his dark cloaks and staying just in the darkness forever, like barely even poking his head out. And the host club is like, oh man, he probably got way more sun than he has ever gotten in his life and never will get in his life. So he is probably, staying in the dark forever and not even going to attempt anything anymore. And then we see a picture of Kirimi back sitting in front of this giant portrait of her brother on the staircase. And Umehito is kind of down a corridor a little bit and is able to peer around the corner and watch her. And she kind of sees it, and he ducks back down the hallway and is like, because that's as close as they have ever been in their house. And he's still wearing his dark clothes. And as he's walking away, he gets stopped because he feels a tug on the back of his cloak, and it's Kirimi. Like, she now recognizes that that's her brother. And, like, it's just the sweetest thing, and the host club just thinks, oh, this, like, we didn't really do anything to help their relationship. But in the end, they helped Kirimi realize that that's been her brother all along. He's always been there. It's just... he has to stay in the dark, and it's kind of like they both kind of have to be brave for each other to have that sibling relationship. He braved it out in the sun to save her, so she kind of needs to brave it out a little bit in the darkness to meet her brother. Mm-hmm. And I just find it so sweet.
Yeah.
I know you can't relate too much.
Oh no, all I'm thinking about is that song from Spider-Man. I'm not scared of the dark. I'm not running. No, I'm not afraid of the dark. Literally is the only thing that I'm thinking about right now.
Beautiful. Okay.
But
yeah,
very entertaining episode.
Sure.
Really loved it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
It was not a boring episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Because
I had a lot of questions, but I feel like it was mostly just questions.
Did I answer them well enough?
I mean, some of them. We didn't get to all of them, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay. We can do that.
Mostly I have questions because I don't know what debauchery is, Hannah.
Oh, Stephanie.
Can you show me in graphic detail later?
Yeah. Should we keep this recording, or you want to keep this off the Patreon?
Is this private?
This might be private.
I just have so many questions. Never heard about this.
Oh, wow.
No, it was fun. And I'm looking forward to episode 12.
Me too.
Baka, bye.